Well guys, we only have one more week of February, and then of course, the long wait of the month of March. So in just over a month, we'll finally be at the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, and I'm sure it's going to be a bombshell of new announcements, especially after going so long with nothing to look forward to. Nintendo has a lot to impress us with. And about a week ago, I made a video talking about what to expect from the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, and everything that we've known from the rumors and leaks and everything, but today I'm going to talk about what to expect on the games side of things. And more specifically, the first-party games. I'm not going to talk about all the third-party games because right now it seems like every third-party game out there that's came out in the last 10 years has been rumored to come to Nintendo Switch 2. So I'm not even diving into that cesspool. Today we're just focusing on first-party and what's the most realistic expectations we can have from all of these reveals. Yeah, I'm getting to the nitty-gritty. So if you're excited about this Switch 2 reveal, stop what you're doing and leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Switch 2. But without further ado, let's dive into every big Switch 2 game reveal that we could get from Nintendo from this Nintendo Direct. Now in a video about what to expect, of course we're going to expect Mario Kart. I mean, it's the thing that we've already seen. Yes, Mario Kart is going to be one of the first new ones they show, and it's probably going to have a new trailer followed by an in-depth overview during the Direct, and maybe even a separate Direct for the game announced later on, maybe a month before the game actually comes out. We don't know if this is going to be a launch title or not. Some people are saying it's not going to be. It's just going to be a big, like, maybe summer game, so maybe they make us wait for like a separate Treehouse coverage or something after the show. That could be cool, but we just don't know much about this game right now. I'm going to guess that there's going to be a huge brand new mechanic that's going to drastically shift and change the series. I mean, for the most part, the mechanics that we've gotten haven't been anything super duper crazy. Like Zero Gravity wasn't anything wild for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and for Mario Kart 7, the gliding and the underwater driving also wasn't anything that drastically shook up how we played the game. For the most part, it was just gliding straight down, and underwater driving was just straight up driving but with a propeller behind you. So maybe there's this brand new mechanic that drastically changes things, like we've seen that magical takeout bag underneath Yoshi's. So maybe that's something that they'd really dive into, and where like each track has this special new transformation or something that changes the whole scenery and everything. I feel like it's going to be a lot more massive than we're thinking, and I can't wait to see what it is. But Mario Kart is going to have a huge presence here. I mean, it's Mario Kart. What do you expect? Especially on Mario's anniversary, his 40th anniversary, which means, of course, we'll be getting more Mario goodness. Like finally getting our hands on the 3D Mario game, or technically our eyes for this presentation. I feel like this is going to be the massive game of the show, and could very well be the last reveal of the show. Yes, I think this is going to be an open world 3D Mario game. I see some people still wanting Odyssey 2. As one of the biggest Odyssey 2 supporters at the time, I don't want this to happen. It's been too long now. It's been since 2017. It's time for something new. It's time for something more ambitious, and I really hope it is this big open world 3D Mario game that everyone's kind of hoping it will be, the follow-up to Bowser's Fury, which just makes a lot of sense to me. And I feel like this trailer can mimic that of Breath of the Wild, where we'll see the giant landscape and the open world terrain and the enemies walking around and stuff, but it'll be more upbeat, more in the Mario flair, instead of that slow, somber kind of approach the way they did with Breath of the Wild, slowly showing the landscape, playing sad music and stuff. This is going to be more upbeat with Mario, you know, cuts of him running and jumping and flying around and riding different creatures and vehicles across the landscape, defeating bosses, doing platforming challenges, running around the landscape, just exploring areas. It's going to look insane. He's also going to have some type of partner with him. I'm calling it. I don't know who it's going to be or what it's going to be, but some type of new partner that helps him along his journey. And there's going to be some new items shown off as well. And it seems to be a newly expanded and massive Mushroom Kingdom. Yes, that's my exact predictions. I just want to get it out there so that way if that actually ends up happening, I could be like, whoa. If not, who cares? I'm just excited for the next 3D Mario game. But that's something like that would be really cool. Seeing a whole Toad Town, very, you know, kind of based off of the Mario movie, seeing where all the Toads live and where they commute and go to work and all that stuff, and seeing the Mushroom Kingdom, being able to go throughout the, you know, castle in 3D this time, like Mario 64 allowed us to, but even in more depth this time. Just exploring the entirety of the Mushroom Kingdom in a huge open world experience sounds like a blast. And one more Mario game I think we could expect right now is a Mario sports game of some sort. It's his anniversary, let's throw in another one. Yes, there could be a Mario baseball, Mario basketball, but get this time it has tons of content day one, and it feels complete, and it actually is fun, and it's fully developed, and it's an amazing sports game just like the classics back on the GameCube, and it feels perfect. Please, Nintendo, please just give us a good sports game. Let it be filled with characters and arenas and just extra content, online gameplay things that we can do, and just, you know, full of content. Like, we shouldn't have to wait a year or 2 years for just all the character roster to come out with free updates that they call. Please make this a really good next sports game. I'm hoping for basketball or baseball. It makes sense. Please don't go back and do tennis again. It's time to get one of these games out. Or maybe, you know what, maybe they surprise us and say American football this time around, and something that we just weren't expecting. But a Mario sports game year 1 for Switch 2 to fill out maybe one of those, you know, empty month gaps would just be perfect. Next up, probably expect Metroid Prime 4. This is a hard one because I think a lot of people thought for sure this was just going to be Switch 1 and that we'd have some information about it with a February Nintendo Direct. But look, February is almost over, and unless they have some type of Direct next week, I don't see this happening. So this might be saved for the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct instead, and I could see this being a cross-release between, you know, Switch 1 and Switch 2, very similar to how Breath of the Wild was between the Wii U and the Switch. I could even see this being an actual launch title. I mean, right now it's kind of rumored that this is the case, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But we'll probably get a big, juicy trailer, more in-depth look at the game. One of the games that they spend the most time with during this Direct, and they show off, you know, more first-person action sequences with Samus this time around. Because I feel like that's the one thing that they could really add to make this game more fluid, is because in the Prime games, you're kind of just like this robotic kind of aim, point, shoot, and you're not really doing kind of Samus's acrobat and her athleticism that we see in games like Other Realm and even in like Smash Bros. And 2D games as well. So I would love to see more athleticism. Let us feel like Samus, maybe having her arm cannon do the counterattacks that she could in Samus Returns and also Metroid Dread. Some new beams and visors, or just bring over more attacks and abilities from the 2D Metroid games would be awesome. But either way, I'm expecting Prime 4 Beyond to have a much bigger presence in this upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Now, as it's definitely way too early for the next Zelda game, but I think we're definitely going to get a remake or remaster. And no, not just because every single outlet in the world has been reporting on this, because rumors are super heavy on us getting some type of Zelda remake or remaster year 1 of Switch 2. The rumors are apparently saying that this could very well be Breath of the Wild, kind of like an upscaled 4K version or something along those lines. Please, no. I mean, as much as I loved Breath of the Wild, I've already played Breath of the Wild, I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played Age of Calamity. I'm just tired of this world. I'm ready for something new, or at least go back to something old and remake it. So I'm hoping something along the lines of an Ocarina of Time remake from the ground up that just looks absolutely gorgeous, keeping the classic feel. Having a traditional 3D style of Zelda for those more traditional fans of Zelda would be perfect right now, especially if we're already getting an open world exploration with Mario. This would be the perfect tie-in, honestly. Like, could you imagine having the same story and pretty much the same area, everything stays the same, but just tweaking some things, getting some new areas added to the map or to the, you know, Hyrule Field and stuff, and better combat, actually adding some more combat systems to that, and other small tweaks that will make the game more worthwhile and just more updated for modern audiences, but also retaining that classic feel for the fans of the original game without tweaking it too much, I think would be a great balance, showing off what this game could look like in today's era, because it already holds up extremely well still on the Nintendo 64. Seriously, it's a great game, and you can still play it as well on the 3DS with a remake on that console as well, but seeing one in full HD on the Nintendo Switch 2 and maybe even in 4K capabilities is going to feel like a dream for us diehard Zelda fans. So hopefully this is something that Nintendo could be working on. Animal Crossing fans, get ready, because I feel like we are closely approaching the next game's reveal. It's been about 5 years, and we know how big and how much New Horizons took over the world during the quarantine, but I think we definitely will see the game here. Will it release this year? I am not really feeling it. I could see it being next year, so I think this would be a small tease for the future. Maybe something along the lines of the camera panning over a bustling city with tons of villagers walking around and driving around the area, and then it zooms out of the city, looks into the sky, and shows a title card along with the date or the year, just straight up saying 2026 or whatever the month it's going to come out on, if it is this year. I think that is very possible. Just as a small tease, something to tie fans over and say, okay, sweet, Animal Crossing is coming out early Switch 2. I feel like this is the best bet for them, and I feel like they need to actually treat this like a long-going game for the Switch 2 with tons of updates yeah, that's plural, years after the game comes out, not just a single year of updates and then they just leave their fans and there's nothing else. Please just give like multiple years of new content and just keep constantly updating the game and letting it be a platform for Switch 2's entire life cycle. Just starting it off early with the Switch 2 life cycle would just make so much sense. I think we both see and get Luigi's Mansion this year possibly. I think it's a very good chance. Luigi's Mansion 4, that is, because it's been 6 years since 3, which feels like it should be soon, right? I could definitely see us getting a pretty neat trailer, like a 2 to 3 minute trailer showing off, you know, this brand new Luigi's Mansion game that could even hit Halloween again this year. It's not going to be open world, but I could see it being more open area or open zones, giving us more areas to freely explore. Probably themed after one type of thing instead of just a mansion again like the first game, or just multiple mansions like the second game. Something that's more theming, kind of like each floor was in Luigi's Mansion 3, but imagine one of those floors just used as an entire theme for the whole game, like an amusement park, or a haunted museum, or a haunted mall, or a cruise ship, train ride, something along those lines, and I feel like they could really expand on something like that. I still think the amusement park, carnival type of fair thing would be so cool, where we could also explore outside at night too. I hope there's some more outside areas, would be awesome, but either way, I think it's finally time we see Luigi's Mansion 4. This was such a huge hit on Nintendo Switch with Luigi's Mansion 3 and one of the top selling games, believe it or not. So I think Nintendo's teams and of course Next Level Games is hard at work with this game, especially after what Mario Strikers Battle League was. So hopefully they're cooking up a lot since that game. Star Fox. No, I'm not joking. It's been 9 years and it just completely skipped the Switch era. And for the most part, it's hit almost every major era for Nintendo. So what's going on? I can actually see there being a very ambitious new Star Fox game to start the early years of Switch 2. It's going to be something, you know, more open, bigger, and not feeling like a 64 reimagining for once. We could see the Battle for Atlas Ubisoft team actually helping to develop this game, because apparently the people that played Battle for Atlas had claimed that this was like the best Star Fox game ever, and it wasn't even a Star Fox game. So hopefully we see them help with the next game or something, because Nintendo needs it. We need to see Star Fox back in the glory, back in its light. I would want nothing more than to see a Star Fox game do extremely well for Nintendo and, you know, kind of bump itself back up there as one of the main flagship titles. Would be so awesome. It'd be like a dream come true. So I'd want nothing but hearing people talk good about Star Fox again. So I have a prediction that it's going to happen and it's going to be great. Can you believe it's almost time for Smash Brothers speculation all over again? Yes, I think we're going to get a big Smash Brothers tease, and finally we might actually get one within the first Switch 2 reveal of games, which we never really got in that Switch presentation. It would come later on in a Direct. The opportunity to see it here with the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct I think is actually very good, because it's going to be around 6 to 7 years since Sakurai dropped Smash Ultimate back at the end of 2018, and plus he's been teasing a project that he's been working on and sent some appeal to Nintendo, so he's been working on something for a while now, so I think we could definitely see it during this Direct, but it also would be a very small tease, kind of like the way the Inkling revealed it with its eyeball, and we could actually see the Smash logo and stuff on fire with the characters in the background with their silhouettes, something like that. Plus you look at Smash 4 to Ultimate was only around 4 years, plus the reveal was at the beginning of 2018, so I think a reveal is imminent, honestly. If they show us any new characters, I think it would be, you know, mostly the base roster with some new abilities. I could see them showing off, you know, like the 8 to 10 core characters having new abilities now and stuff, and that's like one of the first things that we see. And then I think, you know, maybe if they show off any new characters at all, it's something like Waluigi or Toad, something small, not to like freak us out yet. I don't even think they show us gameplay yet, to be honest. I think it's going to be some huge cinematic trailer. We know the Smash Brothers team loves to make those juicy cinematic trailers, but hopefully they actually save them for in-game this time around. I'm hoping for like a Subspace 2 or something along those lines, where we have some cool dedicated cutscenes with these characters. So yeah, whatever it's going to be, I think it's going to be great. Next Smash Brothers game, I think for sure we'll get some type of tease. And finally, I think one big game that we could get is some type of Nintendo surprise. You know, Nintendo loves to have those quirky games like the next sports game, the next party game, or maybe even a fit game like Ring Fit. They could even do something like 1-2 Switch again. I hope not, since we already have 2 of them. I don't want another 1-2 Switch. Hopefully it's not something corny and stupid, but it's something more interesting. Something I always thought would be really cool is maybe just, you know, coming up with a new Wii Sports game, but having it feel like an interconnected world, like allowing people to pick their Miis and running around a Woohoo Island type of world where you can interact with other players, just go to different buildings and play sports with people, you know, pick up games or whatever's there. I think it's something that just actually feels like it has effort to it and not just kind of like a cash grab sports game slapped onto the console. So this could be a cool pack-in game, or maybe something that just releases shortly after Switch 2, or maybe if it's just like a separate game that you gotta buy, I don't care. Just something like that day one would be really cool. So hopefully Nintendo's actually working on a game with effort and not just a stupid, you don't even look at the TV game like 1-2 Switch. Like, what was even that? But I wanted to add this special section at the end, just in case you guys thought I forgot about some of these franchises. I didn't. I just didn't include them because I do not think we'll see them. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see everything, but I feel like they gotta save some things for later on. It just doesn't feel like the time for these. I'm gonna run through these quickly. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has only been 3 years, plus we just got X. Well, X is coming out next month, so I don't think we're gonna be seeing Xenoblade Chronicles at least no time soon. Fire Emblem, it's been 2 years, so it's probably gonna be a while until we see Fire Emblem again. We could finally see Genealogy of the Holy War remake, but that's probably still gonna maybe come to Switch 1. If not, it could be to Switch 2. Kirby, it's been about 3 years, so it's going to be a while, I think, until we see the next 2D or 3D. We could get that Planet Robobot remake on Switch 2 if it's not coming to Switch 1. Donkey Kong just got Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, so probably nothing from them. Yoshi just got Princess Peach Showtime from the Goodfield company a year ago, unless another company has been working on this next Yoshi game. I don't think we see Yoshi either. Mario Maker 3 has been 6 years, but too much Mario in 1 year already. I don't see them doing this right now, so maybe announced for next year if it's announced at all. Pikmin 5, it's only been 2 years since Pikmin 4, so probably nothing Pikmin. I am slowly starting to give up on my Kid Icarus dream. I just feel like it's forgotten, and the same thing for Earthbound and Mother, also probably just forgotten at this point. I don't know. I'm just hoping for at least Kid Icarus Uprising eventually, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I think an F-Zero GX remake is still coming. I thought it would be on Switch 1, but it may just be on Switch 2 now, and I don't see it happening this year because I don't think they want that thing to interfere at all with the kart racer mayhem that's going on with the new Mario Kart coming this year, and also the Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. It'd just be too much kart racers, even though F-Zero's not really a kart racer and it's completely different, but, you know, people won't see it that way. And then finally, Splatoon. It's been 3 years since Splatoon 3. We might have to wait a little while longer on this one. I could see a year 2 announcement that could release at the end of year 2 or year 3 sometime, unless the Splatoon team is actually working on multiple games, like for instance, a single player focused campaign would be pretty cool. But that is pretty much everything to expect with the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct first-party games. Let me know in the comments down below if I missed anything, or if you agree or disagree with the choices that I had today, and what actual specific predictions do you have for these games like mine. Once again, do they align with mine, or do you kind of counter mine and disagree? Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. The Switch 2 Nintendo Direct will be here before we know it. It's just going to be a hard March. it really is. Can we just skip March? But thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.